everybody was having fun in Tourmaline in various ways, as I recall.
Yeah.
The last time we saw anybody, they had everyone was having a fun night out. Girl and Christabel had met Spring Lightning. Christabel's somewhat dodgy.
Rod, you look like you're trying to say something.
Yeah, I was just trying to find a moment to get into the narrative there, because I had after last session, over the ensuing weeks, I sort of started thinking, and because I had said we were leaving the bar, but then I thought maybe Christabel would start putting two and two together and circle back around and try to catch up with Spring Lightning again, because I'm thinking maybe we don't have as much time to hash the situation out as maybe I would have hoped.
Cool. We can certainly do that.
Okay.
But just before you launch into Spring Lightning, you had also been talking to a Ruamite chap, Shem, who had recently arrived in Tourmaline and made friends with the somewhat disreputable Spring Lightning. But no bar fights had emerged, even though I was sure I was going to get to destroy the whatever horrible name I gave, the Khaki Corsair bar that was you met up in.
Just rewatched that video last night.
Dead Man's Chest.
Yes, of course.
Right.
What else would I have called it?
I knew it was some pirate cliche.
And before that, Shining Star had met up with Puck, having been summoned by Carrier Peacock.
Walked on coals, but did not actually get an assignment yet. Well, actually, no, I did. Now I'm supposed to, bluntly, I'm supposed to spy on my friend.
I believe he said he would like to meet Christabel for information gathering purposes, and had invited you to a mass party.
Yes, that I know about. All right.
Following that, I thought it was funny inside. You don't really have to go to mass ball. I don't mind. I would be sad if you don't. So that will, yes, and you managed. And as I recall, you made a actually not bad impression on Puck on this occasion.
This time.
And before that, all sorts of other things. We established that Spring Lightning is drug dealing out of Relaxed Cat. And possibly Girl identified some of his drug dealing compatriots through divination magic. And we also looked into why Serpentines might be trying to hunt down Girl. Is it just because she's been stealing their products from out in the Christabel? Apparently has plans to have more words with Spring Lightning, who, when last we saw him, was hitting on young ladies in the Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's some sort of thing where we're halfway down the street and Crystal is like, wait a minute, thought balloon pops. Does anyone remember that Phil Folio Myth Adventures cartoon where there's one panel where the guy has a thought balloon over his head that says 2 + 2 = 5? No, 7. No, yeah.
Right.
4. And so she's like, wait a minute. I think we have to go back and talk again.
And I assume Girl is there, and Girl would be, I think more than happy to accompany you back if there's something pressing that needs to be further discussed.
Cool. Is the plan just to go and have a chat, or are you intending to Wait until he's looking vulnerable, or
well, we'll just go in and see what he. I'll just go in and see what he's doing right now, and
okay.
I mean, I think on the way back, Girl would. I can't remember if Girl had related the vision that she had received of this kind of drug operation, where she had a vision of seeing Spring Lightning and some other elven folk in a kind of, as I recall, it was a kind of warehouse or very large room with skylights and with some plants that were growing
it had
there.
shabby couches, and it had some strung out person, and it had a little tough guy, and they were all quite hip and skanky.
Yes, they were all elves and no serpentines.
One was a Spriggan, so they were at least fairy folk.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And I believe there was a she who was all wretched and huddled up and under a blanket or something.
There was.
But as a possibility, Girl is not known for withholding information from her friends. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't have chatted this up to Christabel in the meantime.
Yeah.
Just so as I remember it, I did say that if you wanted to try and track down the location, you probably have some idea of what it looks like, and maybe some.
Yeah, you had some kind of superior result or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
Should you want to go back in the dead man's chest? Why not? You're going in as you meet Spring Lightning coming out with two young elven-ish ladies. And hey, why not? One of them is an elf, but quite tall and quite broad, and the other one is a she with short, spiky hair.
Okay. Well, they seem like non-issues. I'll sort of like grabs Spring Lightning by the arm and say, hey, Spring, hold on just a sec. And sort of pull him to the side or
into a dark alley.
Not in a dark alley, but
on the dock fronts where people are coming and going, but you can catch a quietish corner to talk.
Catch a quietish corner and say, look, so the thing is, a friend of mine who was hanging out of the shop may have found your stash, and if everything you were telling me about the Serpentines is true, and if they're coming around the shop, if it has something to do with your other business, then I don't want that physical connection between the shop and your drug stuff. So at the very least, we need to get that stuff out of the shop, like, soon. Tonight is what I would recommend.
Okay.
How very law-abiding of you. My whole Shining Star's whole position was that you should just get your rightful cut of the profits, but that's just me.
Well,
okay. It sounds like
conversation open.
It sounds like you're trying to persuade him to do this through sensible, reasonable. You should move this in case the Serpentines who were hanging around and asking questions find it. So, do you feel that might be an intelligence roll to convince him?
An intelligence roll? I'll take it. That should be good. A good result.
Good result. Okay, you're rolling against his. I'm trying to say is against his passable hostility. A good result. You can kind of see the connection being made in his head when you remind him that there was the Serpentine Kezia in your in Relaxacat asking questions about stuff, and maybe it's not a good idea to have his supplies in there. And he's kind of nodding and agreeing with you. He doesn't seem in any hurry to go and do it this evening, though. So he's like, yeah, we'll sort it out. I'll do it first thing. And your impression of his definition of first thing is that
The first thing after all the other things. Right.
and possibly, first thing in the morning, verging on middle of the afternoon, tomorrow evening, when he remembers.
And the two elves that are with him, they do not resemble any of the elves from Girl's vision, do they?
I think the chance is rather high, actually.
They look significantly different to the elves in the vision. I'm not going to. They are just looking slightly annoyed and tapping their feet, waiting for Spring Lightning to finish talking to his friend. In fact, maybe one of them shouts over, "Hey, you said we were going somewhere more happening for another drink."
I'll just say, well, I'm heading back. I'm going to head by the shop today, right now anyway, to check on things. So I may just do some moving around myself if you've got other things to do.
It sounds like you're basically going to get rid of his stuff if he doesn't come and do something about it. Is that right? Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. Give me a sincerity roll.
That's unfortunate. That's pathetic.
Oh, that's great though. He'll get on. He'll know. Aha.
That's not my interpretation of it, because I'm rolling your sincerity versus his intelligence.
Oh,
And
right. True. It's the difference, whatever that is.
He doesn't. And,
Oh no! Has he got a pathetic intelligence? Oh no!
No. He's got poor intelligence. We're all right on that side. But you weren't sincere enough for him to be convinced and pick up on. I'm just going to go and bin your stuff if you don't come and do something with it. So he's like, yeah, nodding, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning, Christabel. It'll be cool.
Okay. Bye.
Cool. So he wanders off with two young elf she ladies in tow,